Hey guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Admiral Foley.
And I'm actually Commander Cookings.
Anyway, we're here to talk to you about some Discovery goodness. A little tidbit that was in the last episode. That what's wrong? What are you looking at?
I mean, I don't think you got a promotion in between, and you look a bit different. Have you got different facial hair? Your haircut's different.
No. I washed it and styled it this morning. And, all ready for conquering and stuff. So, what are you getting at? What are you getting at?
Stuart, let's talk about the mirror universe. Maybe.
Yes.
Well, a literal mirror, maybe even literally a mirror universe inside the mirror.
Yes.
Maybe Jonathan Frakes was being rhetorical and clever. Maybe it was a deliberate leak. No one said the evil universe. So, Stuart, tell us about what happened in the last episode, which was, what was it called again? It was called Choose Your Pain. Yeah, episode 5. What happened, and why is it important?
Well, to cut a long story short, Stamets, the engineer, injected himself with the tardigrade DNA so that he could be the navigator, the supercomputer for the Spore drive.
Yeah.
And so he allowed them to do their final jump, and he had access to the entirety of the Spore network, which is universe, galaxy-wide.
Yes, as Lorca said, it can take us anywhere in the known universe.
Yes. So he, suffered a little bit because of that, and then he had maniacal laughter, like he was crazy, like he was the Joker, and then he's hanging out with his partner there, and they're brushing their teeth, and they're in a discussion. He says he feels fine, but he had access to the entire network.
And he said he saw the universe and he saw things, and he seems remarkably fine. Or does he? Because then what happens?
Then what happens is he leaves the room, and standing in the mirror still is his reflection with a kind of a nasty smirk on its face.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was symbolic.
Well, I think we were all
literal.
I think we were all left like, huh? And then, as you can imagine, I always find it funny that people online say, "Oh, did anyone notice that Captain Archer was referenced?" It's like, yes, everyone did. It's like, I heard people say, "Did anyone notice he was in the mirror? Might be a mirror universe reference." I'm like, obviously we saw it, and obviously that's what it's alluding to, potentially. I mean, obviously we're very tuned in, but yeah, the literal mirror. Now, if you didn't know the mirror universe was going to be involved in the show, and somehow we'd be a lot less certain of this, because as we know, Jonathan Frakes did spill beans that he directed a mirror universe episode. Now, mirror universe could be something else in terms of a mirror, as I just said, or it could be literally the evil universe, the other one that we saw first in Mirror in TOS, and then re-looked at in DS9, and then went back to an Into Mirror Darkly, which sort of showed the start of that universe in terms of where it diverged roughly with all warfare and the sort of start of the Terran Empire. Does this mean Mirror Universe, or does it mean something's going with him specifically? Because
that I'm not sure of. I do think it's referring to the Mirror Universe just in a very literal way. But I think what got me thinking was perhaps him himself has been transferred from the Mirror Universe into this body. Maybe this is the Mirror Universe version of him that nobody knows about yet. There's been theories and speculation going around that Lorca is actually from the Mirror Universe in our universe doing stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe they learn that they have to go to the Mirror Universe to get the real Stamets back or something. Reasons.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is a Spore drive, they specifically say anywhere in the known universe, or anywhere in the known universe. I mean, if it connects all of everything, why wouldn't it connect everything in this plane, but also in this plane of existence? We know that the universe is very closely tied with ours, and in fact, in TOS, it was a storm that charged a transporter beam that let them, because they're both going at the same time, they were parallel, and they just swapped over. In DS9, you can literally beam. They invent devices like this big that lets you beam through universes. So it is literally that easy. And then in Intermediate Darkly, we see interphasic rift. So it is literally phasing through reality.
Yeah.
So why couldn't this spore drive also have tendrils in other phases of reality or their reality? So it makes perfect sense that it could pull them there. And if this Stamets was now able to access said thing, maybe you're right. Maybe his consciousness was swapped. Maybe he is now a trans-dimensional being in a sense. You know, if you can see the traveler, you know, if you can see the greater universe, why are you limited to one thing? And so maybe, you know, what is a reflection if not? Although someone should point out, Burnham used a holographic mirror. He's using a real mirror, or at least we assume it's a real mirror. Just a little note of the.
You wouldn't need the holographic mirror all the time. If you're looking at a whole uniform like she was, you'd want the full body thing.
Yeah, and also he's a higher rank, so he's probably getting nicer quarters with a real mirror because it's just like home. Yeah.
We'd obviously still have real mirrors.
Yeah. But power turned down. How would you see if your clothes look good? Yeah, I mean, this was an interesting one because I'm trying to figure out, is it literal or figurative?
That's tough. It's tough right now.
Yeah. Because theoretically, he's the only thing that's been affected. So, is his body now changing transdimensionally so he can, you know...
Is he though? He was responsible for transporting the ship. What if and it was his first time doing it, maybe he made a mistake. Maybe he brought the ship back to the mirror universe. And nobody knows yet. They think it's the real universe.
So he might have... because we did end very... There was no after bit to talk about...
Exactly.
And then maybe that transdimensional void has changed his brain. We know that in TOS, the people that went via the Defiant into the mirror universe, they all went crazy and killed each other. So we know at least that radiation can mess with you. So what if he transphased and it's messed up his head? We don't know how long it took them to go crazy. Might have been a slow process, you know.
So I'm not sure if the entire ship is there, or if they're going to be going there. And I think it's more likely they're going to be going there in the future, either by accident or on purpose for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I don't think it's. I'm not saying that I think they're in the mirror universe now. I think it's a possibility.
Yeah,
they find out that things are wrong here. Klingon D7s look like ships instead of animals, you know, and then they're going to be like, "What's going on?" It'll be interesting to see what happens. But that'd be a cool plot device that he brought them back to the wrong universe without realizing it.
Yeah, I mean, I said this in our review. I find it quite daft that a human brain can be able to cope with all that information of the entire universe. You know, an alien life form we don't know about, they've just invented, obviously can do it because that's the point of the plot. Or a higher evolved life form, maybe like a Vulcan, has either more control over his brain or just more brain capacity or whatever. Fine, but human seems very... We can't always be the most important thing in the universe. And they specifically said we share the most DNA with the creature, so therefore, you know, it's like, oh, we were destined to be able to connect this universe with a little bit of help, this network with a bit of help. It's a little bit... whatever. Because remember, guys, we've got to have such a massively flawed reason why the spore drive is never, ever used, referred to, mentioned, or anything else again. It has to be completely abandoned, and all records of it either destroyed or lost. Now, what if we know that the Ripper, you know, left to explore the universe? We have no concept of how or why it was created. If it was by the crew, they've gone into it by the crew. They found it, they grew it, whatever. What if that by using a person, there's only one thing that can happen? You cross into a parallel universe, or it could go worse. You know, we just can't contain the power, and so that's why, you know, the secret is having the navigator. But if you can't, you know, we spend 10 years, we can't find these creatures ever again. I mean, the technology can only take you meters. You know, that technology is flawed then. And if you put a person in it, you just go to a different universe, and they were lucky it was one that was so close to ours.
It could be that the person, because they don't have the experience with it, thought they were going back to the right spot, but didn't. So not necessarily that you're going to definitely go to a different dimension every time you use a human or whatever. Anyway, yeah. So,
Well, also, I just want to double bring up, most of what we do is in our subconscious. So it's more likely to say that the subconscious controlled the spore drive rather than his conscious. So we know that he doesn't like war. We know that he wants to end the war. We know that he doesn't want to use technology for bad. I'd rather go to a different universe rather than the actual mirror universe, because maybe his subconscious said, "This is my chance to get out of the hands of Lorca and these bad people." So he took him into a different universe so that, he'd be trapped and whatnot. Because he wouldn't necessarily think that, but we know from the last episode or before that he was very against them using it for war. That's not the point, But then to take them into the universe where everyone is aggressive and kind of mean, is kind of the opposite rationale. But I guess he wouldn't know that, would he? But like it'd be cool to take him into another parallel, a third, or even the Kelvin timeline. That'd be kind of cool. Take him to a universe where we introduced a war way earlier, and now a lot of people are dead because of that. That'd be kind of cool to see a Kelvin crossover with this universe.
Yeah,
I'd rather see a TOS crossover with this universe. But
Ha. Well, the possibilities are endless with this kind of thing. Being tapped into the universe like that on such a,
fundamental level.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many possibilities open up. So I'm really looking forward to more of what happens here. I hope that something really exciting happens next episode that kind of refers to the mirror universe or something. I think that'd be great. I don't know if they'll do it right away or if they'll wait until later down the road when they think they have the spore drive mastered, and then an accident or a surge in something sends them to the mirror universe. It might also be cool. So I know they'll hopefully get there eventually. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the way the show's been, it's been an interesting setup. Yeah, the first 2 episodes set up the Klingon culture, the war, Vok, who we think is Ash Tyler. So his character's been set up enough to then be important in this future bit. We set up the Discovery, the mission, Lorca. We've set up a lot of things actually in this broad universe and timeline. So if you're going to then start the plot, as it were, because remember I said each episode they have a problem, they solve it every episode. Oh no, the spore drive doesn't work. Nope, we've got a solution. Oh no, the Ripper is dying. We found a solution. You know what I mean? It's so quickly burning through the plot points. So suddenly, if they're then lost in the mirror universe for say 5 or 6 episodes, and that becomes a real issue, then sidestepping the plot and creating this reveal, this interesting depth of the story, and maybe Samus is, like I said, what brought him there, because he's gone evil, rogue, whatever.
And maybe that's what tips the scales in the mirror universe, because the ship comes in, causes a bunch of problems, or talks to a few people for like 5 or 6 episodes, like you say, and then all of a sudden winks out again, and everybody in the mirror universe and Starfleet is going, okay, these people can just randomly show up and disappear because of the spore drive, right? Mm-hmm. Just pop in and pop out. We need to become a little bit more aggressive. This is 10 years before TOS, 10 years before the mirror universe mirror episode. So could it be that in 10 years, like, Starfleet was fine-ish, kind of more on a regular parallel level with our own, but then this happens, and then 10 years of build-up gets them kind of very much the same, but very starting to show those signs of aggression.
The problem is that we've seen the Enterprise era version of the Empire, and they now have Connies very, very early on. So, and while the technology doesn't seem to improve that much in those 70 years, we know that they are as bad as they ever could be, and then have these 70 years of expansion. Yeah.
Because of time and space and access to other dimensions, what if they go back even further than Enterprise into the mirror universe? And it's because of the Discovery that they start to, well, that'd be neat.
See, my hope is actually the opposite, is that we know that in Enterprise, that the Defiant, the Tholians opened this rift. It went into the past of an alternate timeline. Now, that's not necessarily saying that their timeline is at a different temporal level to us. It's just saying that rift was time travel. Who knows? What if... Now, I've always hated that in DS9 the Terran Empire was destroyed, and we have this... Again, it's very contrived. Is every important character in DS9 is this new Empire? No, it should have been the Terran Empire, and they ruined that. I don't like those episodes very much. Wouldn't it be great if this ship goes into the in-between period between the TOS and the thing, and they cause the double destabilization of the Terran Empire? We know in the books and such it was because Spock went more peace, all that stuff. But what if they go into that apart, and they cause the downfall of the Terran Empire, which then leads into the DS9 version. That would bridge that gap a little bit, and it would let you have Mirror Spock. So you're having Spock but not Spock, and why else? Why else would you have Michael Burnham, if not to be able to talk to Mirror Spock? Because there's Mirror Burnham.
But
we could assume
in the mirror universe, Sarek wouldn't have necessarily taken her in and raised her.
Yeah,
that just seems sketchy.
But also, she would still know who Spock is as a person, and we know Spock was very similar in both universes. So, if I mean, wouldn't that be cool to have a mirror Zachary Quinto appear for like 2 episodes as an older Spock? I would love him to be. He was great, and give him some real meat in that episode. Yeah. And what a great secret to have, because then they said, we're not bringing Spock, but Mirror Spock, it's not technically Spock, it's other Spock, I think that'd be a really great play, and if it is in the future, he can be as old as he wants to be. We know he exists until TNG, and that's past where the Mirror Universe diverged in, DS9. So why wouldn't you have him there? I think that'd be quite an interesting way of looking at it. Then you get to look at post-Connie technology, so they don't need to have the TOS look exactly, because it's post that version. And you can do new uniforms and whatever, and they jump back, and maybe they either have the Connie technology, they learn it from that, and they develop whatever. All that stuff. So that would be another possible plot line.
I think what we're saying here is there's unlimited things that could happen, and we're hoping for the best. Although the mirror thing at the end, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Bloody Mary. No.
Bloody Stamets. I'm here. Yeah. I mean, I know in the review I said specifically the writers do realize the Mirror Universe is not literally in a mirror. It's a figurative mirror. It's an unseen reflection. It's not literally a reflection.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if this is figurative or literal, because either way it means something. But it makes total sense to have this guy be changed, and also, I mean, we know that the actor was. I mean, I've heard that he was a nice guy in previous shows, and so to have him play more of an annoying character, like deliberately so snarky. So if you give the actor, have you a snarky character for 5 episodes, then you actually become an evil character or something else, that's some good acting chops. You want to push yourself as an actor. The way that character can now go could be really, really interesting, and you might want to do that as a performer.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Is it literal? Is it figurative? What do you want out of a Mirror Universe episode of Discovery? Because I'm sure there's one coming up. Mm-hmm. The Mirror Universe just rocks, because I'm from the Mirror Universe, because I'm Admiral Foley. But anyway, guys, if you like the video, click like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. And share the video around to all your friends on social media that like Star Trek, because we'd like to get the Trekyards name out there and spread, because we do a lot of in-depth stuff. We try.
And this isn't just a channel, or isn't just a show, it's a full channel. We look at daily videos and a lot of great content, a lot of great guests as well. If you want to support what we do and what we want to continue to do over in the years to come, we just hit 3 years. Helps go into
and 9 million views.
Yes.
9 million views.
If you want to help us get to 1 billion views, please support us on Patreon, and which is a monthly donation scheme. We need money to help fund life. I mean, that's literally what we do. Or a one-time donation at trekyards.com. Goes straight to our PayPal, goes to our joint account. It pays for trips, pays for equipment, pays for just things you might not see, but really help the show. If you can, please do. If you can't, like Stuart said, just share it around. We appreciate all the help. And just keep tuning in, subscribe to the channel, watch what we do, and keep enjoying.
That's right. So until next time, I'm Admiral Foley.
And I am the legitimately me, Commander Cockings. I'm still good, guys. But he's not as bad as you would think. It's a pretty nice mirror.
Thanks, man.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.